I'm Anita, 28 years old now, but this story started when I was 22. Back then, I wasn't rich, not even close. I worked at a small supermarket during the day and did hair in the evenings just to survive. Life wasn't easy, but I had one thing that kept me going. Him, David. He was 24 when we met. Smart, ambitious, always talking about the future. He was in university studying engineering, but struggling badly. Fees unpaid, rent overdue, sometimes he didn't even have money to eat. The first time I saw him, he looked confident. The second time I saw the truth. We met through a mutual friend. He barely spoke that day, just sat quietly, observing. Later, when I was leaving, he walked up to me. "Can I be honest?" he said. I laughed. "Depends on what you're about to say." "I'm not doing as well as I look," he said. That honesty, it caught me off guard. Most people pretend. He didn't. That's how it started. Slowly, we began talking more. Calls at night, long conversations about life, dreams, struggles. He told me everything, how he was about to drop out because he couldn't pay his tuition, how his landlord was threatening to throw him out, how he felt like he was failing. And I believed in him, not because he was perfect, but because he was trying. One night, he said something I never forgot. "If I just get one chance, Anita, just one stable chance, I'll change everything. I won't waste it." I held on to that because I wanted to be part of that everything. A few months later, we were officially together. That's when reality hit harder. David wasn't just struggling, he was sinking. School sent him warnings. His landlord locked him out once. I remember finding him sitting outside his room with his bag, looking lost. That day, I made a decision that changed my life. "Come stay with me," I told him. He looked at me like I was joking. "I'm serious," I said. "You can't keep living like this." My room was small, just one bed, a small kitchen corner, nothing fancy, but it became ours. From that moment, I started carrying both of us. I paid the rent, I paid for food, transport, even his basic needs. At first, it didn't feel heavy, because he was grateful. He would hold my hand and say, "I won't forget this, Anita. I promise." And I believed him. Then came the biggest step, his tuition. The amount was not small. For me, it was almost impossible. But I still did it. I took extra shifts, slept less, ate less sometimes. I even borrowed money from a friend and lied that it was for something else. The day I paid his fees, he hugged me so tight. "You just saved my life," he said. No one had ever said that to me before. I felt important, needed, valued, and that feeling, it kept me going. Years passed like that. I was working, he was studying. Every success he had, I celebrated like it was mine. When he passed his exams, I was the one cooking late at night to celebrate. When he got internship opportunities, I was the one ironing his clothes. When he was stressed, I was the one reminding him, "You'll make it." People around us knew. Our friends, his classmates, they all knew I was the one holding things together. Some even warned me. "Be careful," one of my friends said once. "When he makes it, don't be surprised if he changes." I got angry when I heard that. "Not David," I said, because I trusted him, because I loved him, because I believed loyalty meant something, and for a long time, it looked like I was right. He graduated. I still remember that day clearly. Standing there, watching him in his gown, smiling, proud, I felt like I had made it too. He came down from the stage, found me in the crowd, and hugged me. "This is our win," he said. Our win. That's what he called it. And for a moment, everything felt worth it. Not long after, he got a job. A good one. Better than anything either of us had ever imagined. That's when things started changing. At first, it was small. He became busier, less available, more focused on work. I understood. I supported him. But then, something else came. New friends, new lifestyle, new environments. He started going to places I had never been, meeting people I didn't know, talking about things that didn't include me anymore. And slowly, I started feeling like I didn't belong in his world. One evening, I asked him directly, "Are we okay?" I said. He smiled. "Of course we are. Why would you even ask that?" I forced a smile back because I didn't want to seem insecure. But deep down, I felt it. Something was shifting, and I didn't know how to stop it. Then one night, everything became clear. He came home late, well-dressed, different. Not the David I struggled with, not the David I built with. This was someone else. I looked at him and asked, "Where were you?" He hesitated for a second, then said, "Work event." I nodded. But something told me that wasn't the truth. And I was right, because a few days later, I saw him. Not alone, but with a woman I had never seen before. Well dressed, confident, everything I wasn't. And the way he looked at her was the same way he used to look at me. That's when I realized the life I helped him build was no longer mine to share. I didn't confront him immediately. Not because I was weak, but because I needed to be sure. After everything I had done for David, I refused to be that person who accused without proof. I had given him too much of my life to act on assumptions. So I watched, carefully, quietly. He started coming home later, sometimes not at all. When I asked, the answers became shorter. Work, meetings, deadlines, always something, but never anything real. The distance between us grew faster than I expected. Conversations became forced. The same man who once couldn't sleep without talking to me now barely looked at me when he walked through the door. One night, I tried again. David, we need to talk. He sighed before I even finished the sentence. Anita, I'm tired. Tired of what? I asked calmly. This, he said, gesturing vaguely. The constant questioning. I looked at him, really looked at him. I'm not questioning you. I'm asking what's going on. He didn't answer immediately. Then he said something that hit harder than anything else. Not everything is about you. That was the moment I knew. The David I knew, the one who held my hand and promised me everything, he was gone, replaced by someone else. Still, I gave him one last chance. Are you seeing someone else? I asked directly. He froze, just for a second, but that second was enough. Then he shook his head. No, don't start creating problems where there are none. I nodded slowly. Okay. That night, I didn't sleep, because deep down, I already had my answer. A week later, the truth didn't just come, it revealed itself completely. I was at the salon, working, when one of his former classmates came in. She recognized me immediately. You're Anita, right? She asked. I smiled. Yes. She hesitated, like she wasn't sure if she should continue. Then she said it. I saw David at a restaurant 2 nights ago. I stayed quiet. He was with a woman, she added. They didn't look like colleagues. My hands paused mid-work, but I didn't react. Are you sure? I asked. She nodded, very sure. I thanked her and continued working like nothing happened. But inside, everything had already shifted. That evening, I went home early. I sat there in that small room, the same room I had once opened for him, and I waited. When he came in, I didn't waste time. I know, I said. He stopped. What do you mean? He asked. I know about her. Silence, heavy, unavoidable. He didn't deny it this time. He just exhaled slowly, like someone caught but relieved the hiding was over. It's not what you think, he said. I almost laughed. Then explain it, I replied. He ran his hand through his hair. It just happened. That sentence. That weak, empty sentence. After everything. Just happened? I repeated. She understands my world now, he said. Things are different, Anita. Different. That word again. I stood there looking at him, trying to understand how someone could change so completely. What about everything I did for you? I asked. He looked away. I didn't ask you to do all that. That was it. That was the moment something inside me broke completely. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Because the truth was finally clear. All those nights I stayed awake, all the money I spent, all the sacrifices I made, to him, they meant nothing. I supported you, I said calmly. And I appreciate that, he replied. Appreciate. Like I had helped him with a small favor. Like I had lent him a pen, not carried his entire life. I think we've grown apart, he continued. We're not the same people anymore. No, we weren't. Because I stayed the same, and he became exactly what people warned me about. So what now? I asked. He didn't hesitate. I think it's best we end things. Just like that. Years. Reduced to one sentence. I nodded slowly. Okay, I said. He looked surprised. Maybe he expected me to cry, beg, fight, but I didn't, because there was nothing left to fight for. He had already left. Physically, he was standing there, but everything else was gone. Within weeks, everything moved fast. Too fast. He moved out, got a better apartment, new lifestyle, new circle, and then the final blow. I heard it from someone else. Not him. He was getting married, to her, the same woman. Rich family, connections, status, everything I wasn't. The news spread quickly. People talked. Some pitied me. Some mocked quietly. But what hurt the most wasn't the marriage. It was what came with it. He started rewriting the story, telling people he made it on his own, that we were just young and figuring things out, that nothing serious was there, like I never existed, like I didn't carry him through his worst days, like I wasn't the reason he even stood where he was. That's when I realized something important. He didn't just leave me, he erased me. And that was something I couldn't ignore anymore. Because betrayal is one thing, but pretending I meant nothing after everything? No, that was something else, something deeper, something that needed to be corrected. Not with noise, not with anger, but with truth. And this time, I wasn't going to stay quiet. I didn't act immediately. That's what most people expected, that I would react out of pain, anger, revenge. But I had learned something from everything I went through with David: patience. So I stayed quiet and I prepared, because I knew one thing for sure. When the truth comes out too early, people defend lies. But when it comes out at the right time, it destroys everything. David's wedding was approaching fast. Big event, upper class venue, important guests. His new wife, Isabella, came from a wealthy, well-connected family. The kind of people who cared deeply about image, reputation, and appearances. Everything had to look perfect. And that's exactly what I was waiting for. In the weeks leading to the wedding, I gathered everything. Every transfer I ever made, every receipt of his tuition payments, rent payments, messages, voice notes where he promised me, when I succeed, we succeed. I'll never forget what you've done for me. I'm nothing without you. I didn't rush. I organized everything carefully: dates, amounts, proof, witnesses, because I wasn't just exposing a man. I was exposing a lie he had built his entire new life on. The day of the wedding came. I didn't go. I didn't need to, because I didn't want drama. I wanted impact. So I waited until everything was over, until the pictures were posted, until the congratulations started pouring in, until his new life officially began. Then I released everything, not in anger, not with insults, just facts, clear, undeniable. I posted it, sent it, shared it where it mattered. People who knew him, people who worked with him, and most importantly, people connected to his wife. The reaction was immediate. At first, disbelief, then curiosity, then silence, because the evidence didn't argue. It spoke. Loudly. Within days, everything started collapsing. Isabella found out, not just about me, but about everything. How he lived with me. How I paid for his life. How he built himself using someone else, then walked away like nothing happened. That kind of truth doesn't sit well in a family built on pride. Her family felt deceived, used, humiliated, and Isabella, she didn't stay quiet. From what I heard, the house became a war zone. Arguments, accusations, questions he couldn't answer, because there's no way to explain away truth like that. But that wasn't the end, because life had more waiting for him. Months later, I heard something else. Isabella was pregnant. Everyone celebrated, public image restored, smiles again, photos again. It looked like everything had survived, like he escaped. But I didn't react, because I had already learned. Time finishes what truth starts. The child was born, and for a while, things looked stable again, until the cracks came back, quietly, slowly. Then one day, everything broke. The child wasn't his. Not rumors, not speculation, proof, clear, undeniable. The same way my truth came out, his reality came crashing down. The woman he left everything for, the woman he chose over loyalty, had been living her own life. And worse, she didn't leave empty-handed. She took what was left, properties, money, assets he had managed to build after everything. She left him and ran to another man. Just like that. No loyalty, no explanation, nothing. The same way he left me, except this time, he lost everything, completely. His marriage collapsed, his reputation already damaged from before. His work environment turned cold, no respect, no trust. People don't forget stories like that, especially when they're proven true. He tried reaching out to me, calls, messages, apologies, long ones. I made a mistake. I didn't realize your value. I lost everything. I read one of them. Just one. Then I deleted the rest, because there was nothing left to say. No anger, no hate, just distance. The kind of distance that doesn't close again. Last I heard, he was living alone, starting over, not from nothing, but from consequences. And me, I rebuilt quietly. No noise, no revenge, just peace. Because in the end, I didn't destroy him. I just stepped back and let life treat him the same way he treated me.
Like our stories? Subscribe and share to follow for more.